Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John, and today I have another anniversary album review for you. It is the 50th anniversary of Fireball by Deep Purple. But before I begin, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I do rock and metal reviews, rankings, and a lot more. So this is actually their fifth album. They've kind of been around in the late 60s for a while. And it was released on July 9th, 1971 in the US, and September 1st in the UK. So there were kind of two different release dates, but I decided to do it today, celebrating the July 9th release date. Now, the thing about this album is that a lot of people kind of forget about it because it is sandwiched between two really big albums. So the first album from 1970 is called In Rock, and this is that album that is considered to be one of the most influential albums in heavy metal. Came out around the same time as Black Sabbath Soldiers. Some debate on what is the first true heavy metal album. So some people do say In Rock. And the album after this is Machine Head, and this one has their most popular song, Smoke on the Water. That's that guitar riff that everybody learns. That's actually the first guitar riff I ever learned when I started playing when I was 19 years old. And that was another big album just filled with hits. There's lots of great songs on Machine Head. But this was, like I said, sandwiched between those two albums. There are lots of great songs on it, but it just kind of gets overshadowed a little bit. So we have Ian Gillan on vocals, and this is, by the way, is that Mark II lineup. They do have different lineups. So Ian Gillan on vocals, Ritchie Blackmore on guitar, Roger Glover on bass, Ian Paice, or Paice, I'm not sure if I say his name right, but he's on drums, and John Lord on keyboards. And these are just all top-notch musicians. This is probably their best lineup out of all the different lineups, and really great musicians on this album. So the album was produced by Deep Purple, but what's interesting that it was engineered by Martin Birch, and he would later go on to work with Black Sabbath and Blue Oyster Cult and Iron Maiden. But I think this was one of his earlier projects, you can call it. And he is a big name in the hard rock and metal scene throughout the 70s. And the songs, now there were different versions of the album. There's a European version and a North American or US, Canadian, and Japanese version. But I'm going to talk about the songs from the 25th anniversary edition, and I'll just mention the different songs as I go along. So the first song is called Fireball. This is the title track. Song starts out with an air conditioner being turned on. I think they wanted to just start the song off with some kind of a machinery or something like that, and I think Martin Birch and someone else had the idea of just clicking on an air conditioner. That's pretty cool. But it's a heavy, hard driving song. It's a hard rocker, it moves at a fast pace, has some really fast guitar riffs. Ian Gillan, he lets out some of his signature screams. He was very influential in heavy metal in general, just as he was one of the first to just let out those crazy screams. And it's just a fast paced Deep Purple song, similar to a song maybe Speed King or something like that. He has a really cool fuzzy guitar tone, and keyboard solo sounds really good in this one. And some even say the guitar riff could be even a precursor to thrash metal. And it is a really heavy riff. Next song is called No No No. This one has a bluesy guitar riff in the beginning, but this is another hard driving song. It's pretty cool lead guitar breaks, and they do slow it down at one point, and it almost kind of sounds like psychedelic rock at one point. The guitar uses some pretty cool echo effects. This is one of the longer songs. It has one of those extended solos, both the guitar and the keyboard. And it's a song that's almost 7 minutes long. Not the longest song on the album, but it's a really good one. The next song is called Demon's Eye. This is my favorite song, actually. If you listen to the intro, it sounds like those modern synth pop bands. I'm thinking of a band like Mule. you know, those bands that came out in like the mid 2000s, but just listen to that intro, just so ahead of its time. But the song itself, it's just a mid-paced rocker. It's a really great guitar riff, probably one of the most like memorable riffs, I would say. Really cool keyboard solo. The keyboard works really well with the guitars. And it's just a really great song. It's just a great rocker and one of my favorite songs. Now, if you do have this album, there are some versions of the album that have Strange Kind of Woman as the third track and not Demon Eye. I believe that is the US, Canadian, Japanese versions that have that. But Strange Kind of Woman I will be talking about a little later. So anyway, the song number 4 is called Anyone's Daughter. And this is just a completely like different song. You know, the first 3 songs have that like classic like Deep Purple, just like hard rock sound. But this is more of like a ballad, kind of like a country western song. Just has like the acoustic guitars and the piano. It just has like that like a honky tonk feel, I guess you could call that. It's a lot different than the other ones. Has some pretty cool like lead guitar effects. They are mixed kind of low, but it is a kind of like a very upbeat song, and it's kind of cool. The next song is called The Mule, and this one has that like overall like 70s like hard rock, like arena rock sound. The intro is very melodic, and you know, there's more like singing, less of that like screaming. The singing is a little more melodic. But this one has kind of like a psychedelic and like a prog rock feel. They play the song live often, and when they did play it live, they did have an extended drum solo by Ian Paice. And I really like the guitars. It has that like flanging effect or something like that. It has really cool sound to it. And this is like mostly an instrumental. It does end with a keyboard solo, but it is a really good song. Next song is called Fools. This is the longest song, a little over 8 minutes. Has like a slow keyboard intro that kind of builds, you know, very soft vocals at first, almost like a whisper. And it has like a psychedelic rock feel at first, but after about the first minute and a half, just the main riff kicks in, and it just becomes this really like kind of like a heavy, almost like a heavy metal song. In Gillan singing is a little more aggressive, kind of like the first few songs. And the song has this like breakdown, and it has like soft lead guitar playing, really cool use of the echo effect, and the song just has this like extended breakdown with just like the steady drum beat, and just hear like the guitar just kind of like playing its thing. And the song does get heavy again towards the end, and this is one of those songs that has like the like heavy and then light and then heavy parts. And this is a style that is used by heavy metal bands today and throughout the 80s and 90s. So this was another one of those songs very influential for the heavy metal genre. And the last song on the album is No One Came, a fairly long song, 6.5 minutes. So it's a hard driving song, has really heavy guitars and keyboards. Pretty cool like galloping riff, I like that. Really nice keyboard sound. And it's just one of those straightforward, hard driving Deep Purple songs. They do use some pretty cool like like a backmasking effect towards the end. Some pretty cool psychedelic effects. I really like that part about it. Okay, I'm going to talk about some of the other like additional songs that are on some versions of the album, most notably like the 25th anniversary edition of the song. But and these are just extra songs or B-sides or other songs. So the song I was talking about, Strange Kind of Woman, that was track number 3 on some versions. Very popular song. It was a single in 1971 and it was kind of a moderate hit. I think a little more popular in the UK. Just a very memorable song. Just a very hard driving, typical song. You probably know. I'm pretty sure you've heard it. They play it live often. It has appeared on many different compilations. Another song, I'm Alone. This was a B-side, really mid-paced bluesy track. Pretty cool keyboard sound. Has a really nice solo to it. Another bonus track called Freedom. This is a hard driving track, some heavy guitars, and this is a pretty cool. I really like the guitar riff, almost like a heavy metal riff on this one. And the song Slow Train, another fast-paced song, just lots of keyboard, heavy guitars, and there is a part of this song kind of reminds me of the Beatles, has that like a harmony into it or something like that. I like that part about it. And that is it. So this is a really great album, one that kind of doesn't get the attention it deserves, being that it was sandwiched between those like two big albums. But I do recommend you go back and listen to this, but it has like some really great songs. It has that classic sound, that hard rocking sound. I mean, most of the songs are just like heavy songs or some like prog rock. It does have that kind of like countryish ballad as well. But I do recommend you should go back and revisit this album. It is great, and that is it. So comment below. Let me know what you thought of the album and the songs, so we could talk about it. So tomorrow, not really sure what I'm going to do. I have a few ideas. I know if any of you follow Iron Maiden on social media, they're leading up to this big announcement. They've been talking about something called Balthazar's Feast. Now, I'm not sure if it's a song or a new album, and they also have been teasing this thing called the writing on the wall. Now, my theory is that tomorrow they're gonna release their new song called Balthazar's Feast and talk about the new album, which will probably be called The Writing on the Wall. Now, this is just my own personal theory. I might be wrong, and we'll find out about that tomorrow. So stick around for that. Check out the in-video links. I will see you tomorrow in another video.